They said it was over, they said his story had already ended, but what they didn't know was that some people don't need a new beginning. They just need the courage to begin again. This is the story of Arav, a boy who lost everything, but found himself again when the world had given up on him. Arav was once the kind of person everyone admired, smart, confident, full of life. He was the top student in his college, captain of the debate team, and always the first one to help others, people said. He's going to do something great one day, and Arav believed that too. He had dreams. Big ones. He wanted to make his parents proud, give them the life they deserved. But sometimes, life doesn't go as we plan. It all started when Arav got his first job after graduation. He worked hard. Late nights, no weekends, no breaks. He wanted to prove himself. But one morning, his manager called him in, and with just one sentence, everything changed. "We're sorry, Arav. The company's downsizing. You're being let go." He tried to smile, tried to stay strong, but inside something broke. For the first time in his life, he didn't have an answer. He went home and said nothing. 4 days, he locked himself in his room, avoiding calls, avoiding people, avoiding life. His friends moved forward. His classmates got promotions, and he just stood still. At first, people said, "It's just bad luck, you'll bounce back." But months passed, and slowly, the voices changed. Some said, "He used to be so talented. What happened to him?" Others whispered, "Maybe he wasn't that capable after all." Even his relatives stopped asking about him, because no one likes to talk about failure for too long. But the worst part wasn't what people said, it was what Arav started believing. He began to think they were right, that maybe his time was over. One night, Arav sat on the terrace, staring at the empty sky. He thought about everything, his dreams, his mistakes, his life, and he whispered to himself, "Maybe I'm not meant for anything. Maybe it's over." He looked at his old notebooks, full of goals and ideas. Each page reminded him of the person he used to be, and it hurt, because that version of him felt like a stranger now. He felt small, lost, like the world had moved on and forgotten him. But sometimes it's in that silence that life whispers something new. A few days later, Arav went to a small park near his house, the one he used to visit as a kid. He sat on a bench, lost in thought. Beside him, an old man was sketching trees with a shaky hand. After a while, the old man looked at Arav and said, "You look like someone who's carrying too many yesterdays." Arav smiled weakly. "I guess I failed at life," he said. The man chuckled softly. "Failed? You're breathing, aren't you? Then how can it be over?" Arav didn't answer. The man continued, "You know, people think beginnings are for the young, but the truth is, anyone can begin again. Even at 70, I start new drawings. Some turn out bad, but I keep sketching, because that's how I stay alive." Then he said something Arav would never forget. "Maybe the story isn't over. Maybe it's just waiting for you to pick up the pen again." That night, Arav couldn't sleep. Those words echoed in his mind. He took out his old diary and wrote just one line, "Tomorrow, I'll try again." The next morning, he woke up early. He didn't have a plan, but he decided to do something. Anything. He opened his laptop and started applying for jobs again. He took online courses, relearned skills, improved what he could. Every day, he did one small thing. Just one step forward. Weeks passed, and slowly, his confidence returned, not because life became easy, but because he stopped waiting for it to be. One evening, Arav received an email. It was from a startup company looking for someone to handle a small project. He hesitated. It wasn't a big job, nowhere near what he had before, but then he remembered, beginnings rarely look perfect. He accepted. The first few days were tough. He made mistakes, felt nervous, doubted himself, but every time he thought of quitting, he whispered, "I've already fallen once. I'm not stopping now." Months later, the company offered him a full-time position. His ideas started getting noticed, and slowly, the boy who thought it was over was building something new. Arav began to mentor others who had lost hope. People who were struggling to restart their lives. He told them, "You don't need to start from zero. You just need to start from now." he realized something powerful. That rock bottom isn't the end of the story, it's the foundation of a new one, because every time you think life has ended something, it might just be making space for something better. So if you're listening to this right now, and you feel like your story is over, listen carefully, it's not, you can begin again. Today, right now, no matter how many times you've fallen, because sometimes the world says, it's over, but your heart quietly says, not yet, and that's where all great stories begin. Remember, you are not your past, you are not your failure, you are the strength that gets back up after everything, because the end is only the beginning you haven't written yet. This was the story of Arav, the boy who began again when everyone said it was over. Fade out.